Good afternoon. I'm Grandmaster Bill LeVeque, Grandmaster of Masons in the state of Michigan. And this afternoon we're here in Flint, Michigan at the Gateway Center for the annual conclave of Michigan DeMolay. And I have with me this afternoon the soon-to-be State Master Councilor, Josh Lampar. Josh, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dad LeVeque.
And welcome, and thank you for taking a few minutes out of your busy schedule to interview with me.
Anything for the Grandmaster.
All right. So, Josh, I've had a chance to interview your counterparts in Rainbow and Job's Daughters, and I wanted to take just a few minutes to interview you about DeMolay. Now, a lot of the Masons know about DeMolay, but they're not necessarily fully familiar with everything that happens in DeMolay. First of all, why do we call it DeMolay?
Well, the name of DeMolay comes from the 13th century, or 14th century rather, Knights Templar Jacques DeMolay, who was the last Grand Master. We emulate him because of the qualities that he portrayed so soon to be burned at the stake. He never was false to the trusts that were put into him, per se.
Okay, so fidelity
Yes.
is one of the landmarks, if you will, of DeMolay. And is there anything else that would be a landmark of DeMolay?
Well, actually, just earlier today, I believe you were sitting in on the degree. Fidelity and toleration are two of the most important virtues that we emphasize.
Toleration, very
Yes.
good. DeMolay has local chapters.
Yes.
And could you tell us a little bit about the arrangements of the local organization? Maybe how many officers, how often do they meet, things like that?
Okay. Well, to have a full chapter, you have about 21 or 22 official stations. Typically, you have 8 or 9 speaking parts that would be required to open a chapter. Currently, there are 5 or 6 active chapters in Michigan. There are many in development. We have interest down in Port Huron. We've actually just fully initiated 2 new brothers for the old Cherryland chapter, which is in Chain of Lakes, which is by Bel Air. There's also a lot of interest in Mount Pleasant. We have a few brothers in Mount Pleasant. But mainly we are centered around the Metro Detroit location.
Okay, very good. Now I'm looking at your shirt and I see a few things going on. I take it that this is an interesting display on your shirt, and it has like a crown, I think, and that's the DeMolay symbol, and I see them also on the banners. Could you talk a little bit about the emblem of DeMolay and what its significance is?
I can actually. I don't know everything about the emblem of DeMolay, but there are those who do. I know a few of the most defining characteristics for me are the helm here that emphasizes or emulates charity, or chivalry, I'm sorry, and kind of harks back to the old Templars, as I mentioned earlier. A few others are the red rubies that you would see on here. It's somewhat hard to see. But they stand for the original 9 members of DeMolay. Originally they were pearls, they were white pearls, but as they died, they were switched to rubies. And the one down here in the center, it's also quite hard to see. That one is still a pearl. That stands for Dead Land, who was the first advisor, per se, the one who really got DeMolay kicked off.
Okay, the first person. So did DeMolay start in Michigan?
No, it started in Kansas City, Missouri. And originally it was a baseball club back in 1919. Just Louis Lauer, the first DeMolay, and a few of his buddies. They wanted to do something after school, keep them occupied, and they just decided to form a small baseball team.
Oh, very good. So if I want to come to a DeMolay chapter in the state of Michigan, do I have to have any qualifications to visit? And if so, what would they be? And when I come to a chapter, how often do you meet a month? Can I come all the time? And what do you do at chapter?
Well, to answer your first question, are there any specific qualifications? Frankly, no. It is recommended that you be a Mason to sit in on the meetings and whatnot, to view all the official business and the secret work and whatnot. But if you're a young man looking to join DeMolay, or if you know of a young man looking to join DeMolay, really you are open to any meeting. The only thing that you can't see is the opening and closing ceremonies because of the secret work, of course. Frankly, chapters, they meet about twice a month, either the first and third or the second and fourth weeks. They differ from chapter to chapter. My chapter, Roseville chapter in Roseville, Michigan, we meet the first and third Mondays of every month.
So when I come to chapter, I know in Rainbow they wear white dresses and Jobs have a Grecian robe. What do I expect to see DeMolay wearing when I come?
Typically, we like to keep our business meetings business casual, khakis, polos, that sort of thing. Although the counselors, the master counselor, senior counselor, and junior counselor, which are similar to the worshipful master, the senior warden, and junior warden in lodge, they will typically be wearing suits or sports coats. And it is very common to wear a suit to a meeting as well.
I'm a young man, and I'm interested in DeMolay. How old do I have to be become a member, and am I expected to have any sort of fancy clothes to join?
You have to be 12 years old to join. There's a Squires program that we're starting to get kicked off in DeMolay, which runs from, I believe, 8 to 12 years old. And as far as clothing goes, we can accommodate you, although if you're looking to join, you don't need anything specific. It is recommended that you have a dress shirt, some nice pants, but if you can't afford it, or if you simply don't have it and you don't have the means to get it, then just look your best.
Very good. Well, Josh, looking behind me here, I see an altar, and I know that a lot of the organizations in Masonry have an altar in the middle of the room, and there they put the volume of the sacred law. But I see something a little extra or a little different next to your altar. It looks like a pile of books. You may want to fill me in on that. And how is it like different from the other organizations? What are those books all about? And I see some flowers sitting up there. So touch on the books first. Why are they there? Does that have any significance with DeMolay? And then tell me a little bit about the flowers.
Okay. Well, the books that we have on our altar, we hold schooling and education, hence the books, to a very high regard in DeMolay. The books that we place on the altar are used to symbolize the public schools and what they can do for youth. There's a part in the opening. It is the junior stewards part, I believe. I haven't done it in many years, but essentially it pays tribute to the public schools and explains why we honor them and how we honor them.
Okay. Tell me about those flowers.
The flowers, this is actually one of my favorite parts in all of DeMolay ritual. They are used in a public ceremony, which you may have heard of. It is called the flower talk. Personally, I enjoy doing the flower talk. The flower talk pays tribute to our mothers, because without them we wouldn't be here. It's one of the most beautiful ceremonies that we have, and in a short summary, it explains that how our first virtue, filial love, love of parents, is one of the most important virtues that we could ever possibly have, because without love of parents, then how do you ever truly gain a proper respect for most people? And I guess to truly appreciate the value of the flower talk, you would have to see it in person and just get just feel the true emotion that it can convey.
There's different colored flowers up there.
Yes.
Why?
The red flowers, they are emblematic of our mothers who are still with us, who still influence our lives actively, and the white flowers up there, they symbolize our mothers who have passed on, and they pay tribute to their memory and how they still continue to influence us even after death.
Josh, there's 7 candlesticks sitting here, and there has to be some significance to that. I see there's on the emblem, there's it looks like 7 little dots. I think they symbolize the jewels, maybe. They symbolize something, maybe the virtues. You may want to elaborate a little bit about those.
Yes. The candlesticks are on the altar. Those stand for our 7 precepts, which are filial love, reverence for sacred things, courtesy, comradeship, fidelity, cleanness, and patriotism. But in the opening ceremony of DeMolay, there's a paragraph that speaks on why we place the candlesticks around the altar and the significance that it holds for us.
Okay, very good. I see the American flag is in the chapter room. I suspect that it's displayed in all chapter rooms.
Yes.
And so patriotism is a very important part of DeMolay.
Absolutely. It's our 7th virtue, actually.
Okay. So you're going to become State Master Councilor this evening.
Yes, I am.
Tell us about the state level chapter and how that differs from a local chapter. And so what are going to be some of your responsibilities as State Master Councilor, Josh?
As State Master Councilor, essentially I will be in charge of seeing that the programs that we put forth as a jurisdiction are carried out and are well planned. In fact, some of those programs, we're hoping to do a combo day thing where we're combining educational events, athletic events, and possibly charity projects into just one day, so we can decrease the amount of time that we're spending and taking away from our youth who may have other responsibilities. We're also focusing a lot on charity this year with those programs. I hope to have not one, but multiple charities that go to several different causes like bullying, self-harm prevention, suicide prevention possibly. These are all just ideas yet, but I do have several contacts in different organizations that I do hope to put these in effect.
Many organizations have a charity, a state-level charity, and local-level charities or philanthropies, if you will. Is there a common philanthropy in DeMolay, and do you have a philanthropy of your own that you'll be supporting?
To be frankly honest, I have not decided on just one. I don't think we should focus our efforts onto just one aspect. If we're going to donate, I believe that we should be donating to all aspects that can help people. As far as the state level charity, officially it is the Memorial Heroes Fund. It is in memory of our DeMolay brothers who have passed while fighting in the War on Terror, or any war that may come. And that is to help DeMolays and DeMolays or others involved in DeMolay who cannot afford to come to Winterfest or Conclave.
So I understand that there was recently an anniversary or birthday in DeMolay, something about 700 years. What was that all about?
That was the 700th anniversary of Jacques DeMolay's death. We performed at the Detroit Masonic Temple in the Asylum the 1926 version of the DeMolay degree, which is very impressive as compared to the one that you would see nowadays, commonly. It featured many different acts. We brought in senior DeMolays, we brought in a few prominent Masons, and it was an excellent degree. Very
good. Now, I understand, and I don't know if you can talk about this or not, but I understand that there's a few other main characters in the DeMolay degree. Godfrey de Gonville, or what was his name again?
We have Geoffrey de Charnay, which was recently changed to Guy Viverne due to a historical error, I suppose.
Oh. And who were the other guys?
We have Godfrey de Gonville and Hugh de Peral, who were preceptors of DeMolay's while he was in prison.
Okay, and they all stood beside Jacques DeMolay during his bid to keep his fidelity.
Yes.
They never wavered in their fidelity either.
Not once.
Very good. How are you going to impress upon all of the DeMolay boys in the state of Michigan to remain faithful to DeMolay or to their trust?
Well, I am a firm believer in leading by example, so I hope to inspire them simply by how I act, what I do, and I hope to leave a mark on them, as you mentioned.
Okay, very good. So money is no object. You can make an impression on not only Michigan Masons, but the world through your efforts as State Master Councilor. The bounds are limitless, and you could do whatever you wanted. What would you choose to do to make a lasting impression on those that you come in contact with?
That's a good question.
And you can think about it for a second.
Okay.
Could be billboards, it could be TV commercials, it could be letting every man in the state of Michigan know what Michigan DeMolay is all about, or every young man for that matter. Just kind of your own thoughts. If making it happen were no object, what would be your vision to move DeMolay forward in the state of Michigan?
I think I would like to do as much for charity as possible. I would like to volunteer, clean up several parks, pay visits to homeless shelters, donate food, all of that.
Okay. Josh, we have the audience of the Masons of Michigan, and you have an opportunity to ask them or tell them something about Michigan DeMolay. What would you like to tell them?
I would like to say that if you are at all interested in making an impact on a young man, I strongly urge you to get involved with DeMolay. Research a local chapter. We have contacts everywhere. The impression that you can make on a young man simply by your presence or offering a few words of wisdom, even if you don't think that you have any, is limitless. That the most important thing that you can give someone is your time. So
there you have it, my brothers and friends. This is Josh Lampar. He's about to become our next State Master Councilor. I doubt not that he will lead Michigan DeMolay with dignity and honor. Josh, thank you for interviewing with me this afternoon, and I certainly appreciate who you are and that you have stepped up to take on this awesome responsibility to lead Michigan DeMolay. I look forward to working with you this next year, and I wish you so much success.
Thank you very much, Dad. Right. Guys, do I.
Take care.
You as well.